Hey there and welcome to Scandal Steep. The story of Tupac Shakur's murder and the circumstances that led to his tragic death have captured the world's attention for nearly 3 decades. From rumors and speculations to official investigations and shocking revelations, the complex web surrounding the case has continuously evolved. Now, with the arrest of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, the man allegedly involved in the drive-by shooting that killed Tupac, new information has come to light that could potentially implicate even more prominent figures in the music industry, most notably, Sean "Diddy" Combs. To understand the full depth of this story, we must revisit the fateful night of September 7, 1996, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. The night was electric, filled with anticipation as boxing fans gathered to watch the highly anticipated match between heavyweight champion Mike Tyson and challenger Bruce Seldon. Among the crowd were two of hip-hop's biggest names, Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight, the formidable CEO of Death Row Records. The duo was at the height of their fame and fortune, celebrating Tyson's victory with an air of invincibility. However, the night took a sudden and violent turn. In the lobby of the MGM Grand, Tupac and his entourage encountered Orlando Anderson, a Southside Compton Crip, who had reportedly stolen a death row chain from one of Tupac's associates, Trevon Lane, just weeks prior. Enraged, Tupac initiated a physical confrontation, leading to a vicious assault on Anderson, all of which was caught on the casino's surveillance cameras. What started as a spontaneous outburst of anger would soon ignite a chain of events that led to Tupac's untimely death. Later that night, as Tupac and Suge Knight cruised down the Las Vegas Strip in their black BMW, a white Cadillac pulled up beside them at a red light. Gunfire erupted from the Cadillac, hitting Tupac multiple times. Suge Knight managed to escape with minor injuries, but Tupac wasn't so lucky. He died 6 days later, on September 13, 1996, at the age of 25. For years, law enforcement struggled to crack the case, despite the many conspiracy theories that abounded. Rumors swirled about rival gang members, East Coast-West Coast rap feuds, and hidden agendas. The most popular theory was that Orlando Anderson was the triggerman, seeking revenge for the beating he had endured earlier that night. However, despite being questioned by police, Anderson was never formally charged and died in a gang-related shooting in 1998. Fast forward to 2023, and the case took a dramatic turn with the arrest of Keefe D, who has long been suspected of being involved in Tupac's murder. Keefe D, a former Southside Compton Crip leader and the uncle of Orlando Anderson, has been open about his role in the events leading up to Tupac's murder, even admitting his involvement in various interviews and a memoir. According to Keefe D, Sean "Diddy" Combs played a pivotal role in the conspiracy, allegedly offering $1 million to have both Tupac and Suge Knight killed. This claim, which had been dismissed for years as a baseless rumor, is now being revisited in light of Keefe D's arrest. Investigators are probing deeper into the possibility that Diddy, who was at the helm of the East Coast's Bad Boy Records at the time, had a vested interest in eliminating Tupac, a rising star of the West Coast's Death Row Records. Their rivalry, fueled by personal animosities, business competition, and the notorious East Coast-West Coast rap war, had reached a boiling point by 1996. Tupac's 1994 shooting at Quad Studios in New York further intensified the animosity between him and Diddy's Bad Boy camp. Tupac, who survived the attack, believed that Diddy and his associates, including Christopher "Notorious B.I.G." Wallace, had prior knowledge of the ambush. This perceived betrayal not only strained his relationship with Bad Boy but also pushed the rivalry between the two coasts to dangerous levels. The media, fans, and even law enforcement began to view the feud as more than just a musical battle. It was a war that could have deadly consequences. According to Keefe D's recent statements, Diddy allegedly feared Tupac and Suge Knight's growing influence in the industry, seeing them as direct threats to his empire. In an environment where street credibility was paramount and power struggles often turned deadly, Keefe D claims that Diddy saw only one way to protect his empire: by putting a hit out on his rivals. Keefe D's confession paints a picture of a cold, calculated move driven by fear and ambition. He detailed how the hit was planned, revealing that Orlando Anderson, DeAndre "Big" Smith, and others were involved in the fateful drive-by shooting that killed Tupac. Keefe D himself, he says, was in the car, armed with the very weapon that would end the life of one of hip-hop's greatest talents. Tupac's family, particularly his stepbrother Tupac Shakur, has remained steadfast in their pursuit of justice. Following Keefe D's arrest, they have come forward with new evidence that they believe further implicates Diddy in the murder plot. Tupac recalled how, shortly after Tupac's death, Diddy frantically called him, attempting to absolve himself of any involvement. The tone of the call, which was once seen as an awkward effort at damage control, now seems to carry a more sinister connotation in light of recent developments. In the years following Tupac's death, the East Coast-West Coast feud claimed another victim. Christopher "Notorious B.I.G." Wallace was gunned down in Los Angeles in March 1997, just 6 months after Tupac's murder. Many saw this as retaliation, although Biggie's murder remains unsolved to this day. The deaths of both Tupac and Biggie marked the tragic culmination of a feud that forever changed the landscape of hip-hop, leaving a void that has yet to be filled. The implications of Keefe D's confession, particularly the claims involving Diddy, are staggering. If proven true, they could not only tarnish the reputation of one of the music industry's most successful figures but also force a complete re-evaluation of the events surrounding Tupac's death. Diddy has consistently denied any involvement, but as new evidence comes to light, the public's perception may shift. While he is not currently considered a suspect by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the court of public opinion may be less forgiving. As Tupac's family presses for answers, they are not just seeking justice for the rapper's murder but also for the broader legacy of the Shakur family. Tupac was more than just an artist, he was a voice for the oppressed, a revolutionary figure whose activism was deeply rooted in his family's history. His mother, Afeni Shakur, was a member of the Black Panther Party, and Tupac himself carried forward that spirit of resistance through his music and public persona. For the Shakur family, the fight for justice is not merely about holding individuals accountable for Tupac's death, it is about preserving his legacy and ensuring that the truth is fully revealed. They have engaged a team of lawyers and private investigators to dig deeper into the case, determined to leave no stone unturned. As the investigation continues and as more details emerge, one thing is clear: Tupac Shakur's story is far from over. His life, his death, and his legacy remain a source of fascination, controversy, and inspiration nearly 30 years after his passing. Whether or not justice is fully served, Tupac's influence on music, culture, and activism will endure for generations to come. As the case unfolds, the world watches with bated breath. Will the truth about Tupac's murder finally come to light? And if it does, what will that truth mean for the people and the industry involved? Time will tell, but until then, Tupac Shakur's legacy continues to shine, undimmed by the darkness that surrounded his death.